the hardest day, the day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day one is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and Text line. You can call in. You can also text in if you have any thoughts on today's conversation. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by simply going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and also give us a share as well. So, Truth Nation, today I told you I'm going to talk a little about the N-word. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about the N-word. We're going to talk about the fact that our kids are being called niggas and niggers all across Wisconsin on the playing fields. But before we do that, what a transition, huh? Before we do that, let's talk about the Milwaukee Brewers really quickly. Because the Milwaukee Brewers, as y'all can see, go on YouTube. You go 1017 Truth on YouTube. Rhea, I'm going to move my hair back too. Rhea, you see this sweater I got on, right? This is an exclusive. This ain't out yet. Matter of fact, I was walking around and Steve Scafidi, host of Point Taken with Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry on 620 WTMJ 10 to noon every single weekday. He saw me in this. He said, "Oh, this is nice. Where'd you get that from?" I said, "This is a giveaway for the Brewers." He said, "When did they give this away?" And I said, "Oh, they haven't. This nice crew neck sweater I got on, Rhea, Ricky, DJ Backdoor Ricky, the nice crew neck I got on. This is presented by U.S. Cellular and will be given away at the Brewers game on Saturday. So make sure you get tickets to the Brewers game on Saturday so you have a chance to win, to get this crew neck sweater. Be going to the first 25,000 guests. With the weather, fall weather being here, this is a perfect time to get a sweater like this. But it's dope, ain't it? I was actually mad because I won't be able to go to the game on Saturday. I got something else going on, but I saw it and I'm like, dang, I really want that. And I walk at my desk and the Brewers got my crew neck sweater on, so make sure you go to brewers.com/tickets. That's brewers.com/tickets, because guess what? The Brewers are getting ready to gear up for the postseason. They're trying to win 100 games this year. Brewers baseball is extremely fun. But then on top of that, Jacob Mizorowski, they have a Jacob Mizorowski shirt. This is the second Jacob Mizorowski, the Miz, because the last time he pitched, we had the floods, and so they decided, a lot of people couldn't make it out to the game on that Sunday, so they decided they're going to do a second Mizorowski. Jacob Mizorowski is the rookie sensation who throws 100 miles per hour, throws a slider at 98 miles per hour, which for those who don't know baseball, that's really fast. A slider usually is maybe at the high end 92. He's throwing at 98. And then also a tumbler. Rhea, you like tumblers?
I do.
This is a tumbler here, courtesy of Quick Trip. But here's a nice Brewers tumbler they'll be giving away at the Brewers game on September 27th. So you got the nice giveaway on September 16th from Mizorowski. You got this great crew neck hoodie if you go on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Great crew neck sweater you can get. But then also a nice tumbler they're giving away on September 27th. But make sure y'all go ahead and visit brewers.com/tickets to get tickets today. Some other cool things they got going on Sunday, September 14th. Looney Tunes Day. You already know we love Looney Tunes. September 18th, College Night, Rep Yo College. And then September 26th. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I am.
I am not, but they're having Harry Potter night on Friday, the 26th of September. So make sure you go ahead and visit brewers.com/tickets. That's brewers.com/tickets to get some of these dope giveaways. I'm telling you, this sweater, this crew neck sweater I got on Truth Nation, it's dope. Would you wear this?
I think so.
Yeah. What do you mean you think so? It's fly as hell.
But it depends on how it fits. Looks nice, though.
Yeah, this is an extra large. I usually like to have a large, but I don't really select what sizes they send me. So it doesn't look too big on me, right? I think it has a little bit of a slender fit, right? It don't look baggy, do it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't look baggy.
Yeah, I'm a thick guy. What can I say? I've been working out, and I get it from my mom and my dad. But other than that, Rhea, you can go ahead and hit them with the off the top, because today I got to give you all an update, Truth Nation, because I mentioned something yesterday, and I realize I may at sometimes overreact and be wrong. What a surprise. Me overreacting? Well, I'm going to tell y'all a story now.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Rhea's really excited about this segment because she thinks it's going to be fantastic. What up, Backdoor Ricky? Oh, DJ Front Door. Ricky just came in to grab something. So, all right. So, yesterday, Truth Nation, you can pot the music down. You can pot it down. We don't need the music. I don't need it. But yesterday, I mentioned about how I got a text message from my lady. And she told me, Truth Nation, because it's story time. She told me that the cleaning folks, because we moved into this house, we have not had a deep clean yet. We haven't had a clean at the house yet. Usually we just do cleaning on our own. And I had people at my house all summer. I was so sick of people being in my house. I think I told y'all, I don't know if I shared on air, when my family came over for Summerfest and how them Negroes act a fool.
Yeah, someone threw up.
Oh, yeah, man, listen. Acted a damn fool, all of them. One cousin was knocking folks out at Summerfest. The other cousin was on the phone, snapping on her boyfriend, and he come and pick her up late night. Where the hell are you going? The other cousin throwing up. My brother hanging out. I'm like, dog, y'all got to get the hell up out my house. And it's just a revolving door. Her parents, her family was there. I have friends who was staying with her. I was sick of people being in my house. My house ain't that big. It ain't big enough for all that. I'm realizing that. And so we needed to have a deep clean. I said, I got to get this house clean. And when we talked to the lady, we got quoted, Truth Nation. Now, I do everything on a budget. I don't just say, oh, pick it. Because that is talk about, not an argument, because I don't argue. I ain't arguing with nobody's daughter, ever. But I have disagreements. And one of the disagreements we have is for those who are in relationships with a woman. I'm sure some of y'all have had the conversation where you say, Rhea, have you ever had somebody ask you, oh, how much did all that cost? And what is your response?
Mind your business.
No, well, damn near. I don't know.
That's a good sale.
That is the worst response you can give a man. And when they ask how much something costs, I don't know. How the hell don't you know? Every time we go somewhere to buy something, you ring it up and they say $31.65, $100. You know, you have a range. When she say I don't know, I go cry. I'll be like, okay, you don't know. Okay, I see what we doing here. And I remember one time I found a damn receipt. Oh, that caused a disturbance in the household. That caused the disturbance because I said, I know. I think I talked about that too, the $7 bread that I now buy every 3 weeks. She was right with that one. But Ezekiel bread, I call it the Jesus bread. Ezekiel bread, I actually have it today. Ezekiel bread, it has no flour, and it's not like, it's fine. It's good. It works out, and it help me stay not fat. So, anyways, I had gotten a quote from these folks, and they said it's gonna be like $300. I said, okay, that's steep, but I got other quotes, and they were highly recommended. They're highly recommended. I said, okay, you know what? It's a deep clean. I can afford $300 a year for a deep clean. I said, cool. And they said it's going to take about 3 hours. 3 hours. 1, 2, 3, because they charge per hour. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, 3 hours. So I said, cool, bet. So then they got there at 8:15. Very prompt. Very, very prompt. Got there at 8:15. And then I called my girl, or I text with her because it was during the show. And she said, hey, I got to go. So I'm going to just leave this money on the table for these folks. I said, damn, they still there? It's been over 3 hours. She said, yeah, they just got to the basement. I said, and I brought this up yesterday. I said, just got to the basement? What in the hell they doing? My house ain't that big. I have a small, humble abode. I got a ranch. I got a ranch house. I ain't got an upstairs. All I got is, a little 1,400 square feet upstairs and a little bit of basement downstairs. But I have a small, humble abode. I am just living the middle-class American dream, Truth Nation. That's all I'm doing. So I was extremely confused, and I was hot, but I didn't show it on air. I was hot about what was taking them so damn long and thinking they trying to run up this bill. That's all I'm thinking. I'm thinking, listen, I'm going to have to argue with these folks, and, the English is not their first language. I'm not trying to argue with nobody. When we ain't got the connection when it comes to dialect and languages. And so I was like, I'm going to have to argue with these folks. And I'm sick of arguing with people. I just had to argue with some folks. And I was going to have a second one. So I'm like, damn. So I'm thinking the whole time, like, all day, I can't wait to get home because these folks is here all day. This better be the cleanest damn house I ever seen. So I leave work yesterday around 6 because I had a lot of other stuff I had to do. And Truth Nation, when I say I called my girl and I called her, I said, baby, I said, how your day, all that? I said, you got to tell me, how the house look? She said, oh, it looks fine. I said, fine. I said, just fine. That's it. She said, oh, yeah, it's okay. She was like, I don't know why we did that this time, but I thought it's just fine. I'm saying, okay. Well, then, did I waste my money? What were they doing? Were they milking it? So now I'm thinking they was really in the crib, just kind of moseying around, not doing too much, cleaning a little bit. So, I'm a little mad driving home, but can I tell y'all this, Truth Nation? When I got home and I walked in the door, listen, I thought I knew how to clean a house. Like, I thought I knew how to clean up. When I say my house was spotless, when I say I can just swipe across different things, not a spigot, no dust. When I say listen, there was a spot inside my shower that when I moved in, I've been scrubbing to try to get it out. I'm like, get this damn. It was because they redid the bathroom. I think it was a little something. And so I'm scrubbing. I'm like, I can't get this off. When I was in the shower, butt naked this morning, looking around, and I saw that, I said, oh my gosh, they got the spot. I'm telling y'all, my house was spotless. They scrubbed every nook and cranny inside the house. And I'm telling y'all, I was walking around my house in awe. I was so in awe because, I sometimes do overreact. Surprise. I'm walking around. I said, baby, I'm walking from room to room. I said, damn, they made the bed like that. I had some drawers. So I didn't know they make the bed, And so I had my, listen, I sleep without drawers on. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I like to be free. And so I had my drawers in the sheets. I didn't know they made the bed and the mattress. The mattress was made. Stuff was folded. All this. I'm like, oh my Lord! They went in. They folded my drawers, my dirty, nasty drawers. They put their hands on them and folded it up and put it on it. I said, goodness, these folks ain't afraid of nothing. When I say they vacuumed the carpet You know how you have a professional cleaning service come in and clean your carpet, and it has the lines in it, like you can see the lines was in the carpet. My house was immaculate. It was at Truth Nation. I'm telling y'all this right now. I even woke up this morning while I was washing my behind. I was admiring at that point the shower, and I was just thinking to myself, damn. I was ready to snap on these folks for being in my house for so dang long, and I have never seen my house wasn't this clean when I moved in. So really, I just realized I clearly didn't know how to clean a house for real, because I had most of all, and for those who say, "Oh, you a nasty," no, you're nasty too, because until you have them come to your house and clean, I'm telling you this right now, your house ain't clean. It ain't. I called my mama. I said, "Mama." I said, y'all need to, y'all got to get them over there. I swear to y'all, you can check my phone. You probably say about 6:45. I said, Ma, y'all got to get, she said, but we got to, I said, Ma, do it. I said, y'all got it. Y'all been in that house for almost 30 years. Y'all ain't never had no deep, y'all had to go clean it. Y'all ain't had no deep cleaning like they had. Your house would be spotless. It would be spotless. I mean, I'm a basic cleaner. That's what I realized in the shower today. I do the basic stuff. There is a whole nother level to cleaning, Truth Nation. I'm telling y'all this right. There is a whole nother level to cleaning that I have never unlocked until I seen what they did. And so the moral of the story is this, because there's always a reason why. The moral of the story is Trump needs to stop deporting these damn Mexicans. He needs to stop it. He do, because I'm going to tell you this right now, because listen, not bruh, nothing. I ain't never had no run-in with no Mexicans. I love all the Mexicans. I do. But let me tell you, between the closet that got fixed a couple weeks ago, when I got all these prices and quotes from all these folks, and I was, I got quoted at $1,800. I said, whew. And then he came in, he said, I'll do it for $800. I said, $800, huh? You gonna paint too? He said, yeah. I said, okay, now we gonna see, Mario. And let me tell you, when I got home, remember when they had the Patti LaBelle cake or pie? He said, Patti LaBelle pie from Walmart. You remember that?
Yeah.
I got home. I looked inside my wall because I had to get some drywall stuff done and all that. I said, Mario. I'm sitting there walking around. Listen, I might get canceled for this. I'm telling my girl, I said, I love the Mexicans. My goodness. And because of the fact that they did my wall was fantastic, and then they cleaned my house the way they did for a great price, and even though they were there over time, I gave them a nice little tip. They didn't try to upcharge me. I said, oh my gosh, Trump, what are you doing? What the hell are we going to do? What are we going to I'm dead serious. I'm nervous. I don't know people's status because they don't speak English, but they know how to damn clean. And so all I'm saying, the moral of the story is y'all need to tell Trump to stop deporting these folks, because simply they're good people, very good people, wonderful people. From high school to college, all the way to an adult, I have never met somebody. I mean, when it comes, honestly, people have different run-ins. I have never met somebody who comes from Mexico that I know, because I was in college. There's a lot of folks who were there, and they were undocumented, great individuals, joined different organizations, and they're just fantastic. But the other moral of the story is this: go ahead and hire you a cleaning service. I'm gonna tell you this right now: if you looking at your house and you think you cleaning your house, you ain't cleaned your house before. Hire you a cleaning service. I see why people do it. Viva la Mexico! That's the way I felt after I got my damn house clean. I was so excited, y'all. But I just had to share with y'all because y'all know I'm cheap. I am extremely cheap. Frugal. Not cheap, frugal. Because I spend some money, you know what I'm saying? You can see the watch, little wrist watch. I be the chain and the Cuban link, it ain't cheap. I spend on what I want to spend on, you know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah. This is an expensive chain. You can Google it. You can look it up. It's an expensive chain. But the point is this, is I'm frugal. And I realized, what you got to say, Rhea? No, hell, she said this chain from no damn J.C. Penney's. You can Google my chain. Matter of fact, on your phone, you can take a picture of my chain and go look at the price. Listen, y'all can screen grab it, do what y'all want to do. You know what I'm saying? I can spend some money when I want to now. But anyways, the moral of the story again is Viva la Mexico. Let's stop supporting these folks, and let's make sure that if you got to get your house clean, get a professional service. Don't be like me. Don't be cheap. Don't wait this long. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I just had to share my initial thoughts because I was wrong. I was wrong yesterday. I was very upset. I was very upset. But it turns out I was wrong. But Truth Nation, make sure you keep it locked because when we come back on the other side, I'm going to transition over Somebody laughed, JCPenney's. Hey, JCPenney's got some decent stuff. I don't shop there like that, but I did get a tuxedo from JCPenney's, and that damn thing is fire. You can find, I'm on social media in it. Fire. But when we come back, I do got to shift the topic in conversation because yesterday I saw some news that I couldn't share with y'all yesterday because I ran out of time. But today I want to talk about this because I think it's important to protect our kids. And far too often, the WIAA continues to fail our kids and continues to fail to protect our kids. There's no reason why our kids should be getting called nigger on a baseball diamond, a football field, a basketball field, a softball field, wherever, without there being repercussions. And unfortunately, right now, the repercussions have not been heavy enough, and there hasn't been transparency. And I'm going to bring it to the forefront today. Keep it locked, because on the other side, our kids are getting called niggers left and right, and this needs to end today.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
We address people, young boys, as if they're grown when they're not. For me, they're not young men, they're young boys. And I think if we can keep them in that space, I can do a lot more with someone in middle school when I treat them as the boy that they are versus trying to make them men when they're not. And they probably have very few examples of that.
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Truth Nation, are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Well, attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, September 11th from noon to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Walgreens located at 9040 West Good Hope Road. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and so much more. They will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments, all while supplies last. Brought to you by Alderman Mark Chambers Jr., Alderman Lamont Westmoreland, and Alderwoman Larissa Taylor. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus and Amplifier.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, Steinhoffels has extended their Labor Day sale, and they are celebrating the start of the Green Bay Packers season. Right now, save 10% off store-wide or choose 36 months, 0% financing. Plus, you'll score an $100 Packers gift card when you spend over $19.99. But hurry, this is your last chance for Labor Day savings on all the best mattress brands with up to 60 months, 0% financing. That's ridiculous. That's 5 years, 0% financing. That's crazy. Steinhoffels, proud partner of the Green Bay Packers. Shop in-store or online anytime at steinhoffels.com. So you mean to tell me if I buy a mattress for like $1,000, I get 5 years to pay it off? That's like $10. That's not even $10 a month. 0%. I'm telling y'all this right now. We can afford it. And the mattress I got from Steinhoffels is amazing. The couch I got from Steinhoffels came home. They have fluffed the pillows, cleaned the couch. I'm telling y'all this right now. That was amazing. And for those, 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Somebody messaged me saying, actually, I'll say who it is. Dame LZ. Dame LZ hit me up, said, bruh, don't deport the Mexicans because they fixed your closet and clean your house is top-notch beneficial racism. Listen, I am not a racist, and it's not just because of that. I also said I know a lot of people who have Mexican heritage. One of my he was, I wouldn't say he's a good friend. Somebody I used to work with professionally as well. He does some great work, I know, out for working and helping kids to go to college and doing all that. I've never had a negative run-in with anybody with Mexican heritage before. Just my personal experience. I haven't had too many experiences, but I've never had a negative experience. So it's more than just that, but maybe I'm on cloud nine. Not really a city girl talking about it on YouTube. You can join us on the YouTube chat at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Said, tell them, Dad, come on, now I'm racist. Now I'm going to get canceled. Now I'm going to have a meeting. Now I'm going to have a meeting that I done crossed the line. I'm just being honest. Hell, the moral of the story is don't deport people. Hard-working people. Anyways, Truth Nation. Again, watch the streamers live on YouTube. Join in on the conversation. Somebody said, name a person and number, please. I got y'all. I'm going to tell you this right now. I got people asking for it. I'm going to text y'all the name and number. The lady was calling me Miss Kyle because maybe it's the woman that usually is the one that's coordinating. She kept saying Miss Kyle, Kiss Kyle. And I'm like, hey, it's Mr. Kyle. The Mrs. was this. I didn't know what to say. I didn't. What am I supposed to say? I was like, Mr. Kyle, and I just wanted to say my name's Kyle. You don't have to say put anything in front, but I want her to understand that I am Mr. Kyle and not Miss Kyle. It's just it's very on brand. But anyway, you still Rhea, you a fool. Go ahead. You can go ahead. Don't say that on there. Anyways, Truth Nation, I had a lot of fun in this first segment, but I do want to transition on because I want to say thank you to the Milwaukee County Board. And the reason why I want to say thank you to the Milwaukee County Board is because they're actually standing up for our kids. See, being called a nigger by a white person should never be tolerated, ever. And a high school student being called a nigger on an athletic field should never be tolerated. And WIAA should come down with a heavy hand. A heavy hand. And WIAA is the organization that all these high schools that are under Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association. That is what WIAA stands for. Anytime something like that happens on the football field, baseball field, basketball field, whatever it is, they should come down with a heavy hand to anyone who does that, any perpetrator. But see, Truth Nation, sadly and unfortunately, that has not been the case when it comes to racism. And WIAA, in my perspective, in my view, in many people's perspective, have allowed racism to occur and have been complicit in allowing it to occur and allowing it to persist for far too long. And I will say shame on the WIAA leadership. Make sure I get their names right. Stephanie Hauser, who's the executive director, Mel Dow, who is the associate director, and Todd Clark, who is the director of communications, for allowing this to happen over and over and over without publicly crucifying the offenders. And I'll get back to not publicly crucifying the offenders, because far too often when these incidents happen, they just put out a statement. I'm going to tell you one of the statements that they put out after an incident that we talked about at Rufus King. Because for me, our black kids facing this racial discrimination when they're just trying to play sports, it has to stop. It absolutely has to stop. And when I spoke about that incident which occurred at Rufus King High School, with Rufus King High School at a track meet at Waterford High School this last spring, I talked about that on there, and we had a conversation about that. There are many students who are harassed and face racist comments from not only just the students from Waterford, but the parents and even the officials. And a student was called the monkey. Students were asked about watermelon and chicken, which are stereotypes of African Americans that we like watermelon and we like chicken. At an athletic event, they're having some student that they do not know, parents, family, whatever it is that they do not know, while they're just trying to compete and do something that they love, talking about watermelon, chicken, and calling them a monkey. It is disgusting and unfortunate our kids had to endure that. But the thing that really ruffles my feathers, Truth Nation, is the response from the WIAA. Because the response can only be simply labeled as pathetic. A WIAA spokesperson, Todd Clark, was asked about what they are doing to combat harassment like this, that like we saw at Rufus King High School. He was asked by WPR, Wisconsin Public Radio, about what they were doing, and his response was sending the existing harassment policy that they currently have. That was it. He didn't say we condemn all of this. He didn't make any strong statement. All he did was send the existing policy that they have in place to protect kids. That same policy that failed our children was the policy that he sent to Wisconsin Public Radio. Children were called monkeys, and you say there's a policy in place. Well, the policy did not stop that. So it's absolutely disgraceful that the WIAA had the audacity to respond to Wisconsin Public Radio with that type of response. And the thing that is short-sighted for them is that that policy that they sent over only covers regular season games. It doesn't cover, it only covers WIAA tournament games. It doesn't cover regular season games. So when you get to the playoffs for the WIAA, that is what that policy that was sent over covers. So when Rufus King High School goes to Waterford just for a track meet, the policy that is in place to protect people from harassment doesn't actually protect them from harassment because it only covers WIAA tournament games and not regular season games. Now, in addition to this, there was also an incident that occurred at Wallace East this past spring as well, where a baseball player was called the N-word by an opponent during a game against Sussex Hamilton. That didn't get news headlines, but that occurred. Also, in addition to that, in 2019 in a football game, they were also called an N-word during against West Allis Hill as well. So 2 times the players in one season were called niggers. And then in 2019, the Tulsa East football player had to endure when they played Economowalk being called a racial slur as well. Back in 2019 as well, Brown Deer High School, they reported an incident where their quarterback was called the N-word while playing against Cudahy. When I was a coach at Hope Christian High School coaching football, none of my players were called the N-word because I listen, we would have stopped. And trust me, you can ask anybody out, you can ask any of my players. I done stopped. I done said, no, we ain't doing this. When there's some ridiculous stuff was happening, I said, listen, I told the coach, I said, listen, let this happen again, we gone. Because we ain't doing that. We not going to be disrespected. And I remember when I was coaching, we were playing Dominican High School. And I remember there was a holding call that my kid was asking the referee, say, hey, I just got held. And the referee response was, hey, kid, just focus on playing. That wasn't the response. The referee said, focus on the scoreboard. Because we were losing, we getting our cheeks clapped. It was like 50 to like 7. We were getting destroyed. And the referee responded to a child and told him, focus on the scoreboard. Also, I had a problem with it. And it was reported to the WIAA, no response. Nothing. What the hell you find funny? We didn't have our star quarterback that day. It might have been, the way I said cheeks clap. I mean, that's what was happening. It might not have been fair. It was probably like 30 to 7. We didn't have our starting quarterback that day. We had to sit him out for that game. But my whole point is this type of behavior is unacceptable. And all teams who exhibit that type of behavior or any professionals who exhibit that type of behavior or parents should be suspended from competition until an investigation is complete. The WIAA is doing nothing, and their lack of clarity and transparency is appalling. And we have to do something to protect our kids because, again, who else is going to step up and protect our kids if we don't speak up for them? And this isn't just an isolated incident that happened once. This is an incident that too many people have to deal with. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. And I want to know this, Truth Nation. What should we do about the racism happening in these high school sports locally? Do you have any stories you want to share? I know somebody shared their story with me, but what should happen, right? What do we want to demand? Should these kids be kicked out? Should the school that is the offending school, should they have to forfeit a game? You as a parent, you as a player, have you experienced racism before? 833-212-1017, because we need to have these type of conversations to ensure that our kids don't have to face this, because this has been going on years after year after year for far too long. And obviously the WIAA does not have enough black representation. I do know they got a black person that works there. But there obviously isn't enough point of emphasis to ensure that racism will not be tolerated when it comes to any sporting event that has the WIAA on it. And I also want to say thank you to Milwaukee County as I started this show off, I want to say thank you to Milwaukee County because Milwaukee County Board is trying to address these incidents of hate speech and harassment in regular season games as they have gone unaddressed, and they recommended to the WIAA to improve protection for student athletes in future sports. They are recommending for them to come up with a policy and come up with rules to protect student athletes. And we need that type of pressure to be applied. We need to apply pressure on Stephanie Hauser, who's the executive director of the WIAA. We need to apply pressure on Mel Dow, who's the associate director of the WIAA. We need to apply pressure on Todd Clark, the director of communication from WIAA, who simply just sent the policy in a response. We just need transparency, and we need reassurance that our children will not have to face any type of racism like this. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it 100. If the Lord blesses me with children, I hope he does. And if my child gets called a nigger or out of their name by a player, a parent, a coach, or anybody, best to believe I have no problem. I have no problem causing a scene or causing drama. And like I said before, for something smaller where a referee, I felt like wasn't, it was during a scrimmage where a referee, my quarterback went down. I didn't have enough players, and they were trying to do something. I said, listen, we not moving. I have no problem stopping a game because at the end of the day, it is a game. It is a game. And what's more important to me is children, and specifically black children, but all children, not being discriminated against or not having to deal with racism like that. Bumps a game. Honestly, bumps a game. Who cares? Because sports in high school and elementary school and middle school is not about winning and losing. That's the fun part. It's about giving kids life lessons, giving them tools, giving them an opportunity to compete. That is what it is about. So I can give a damn about a final score of a game. I care more about the emotional distress that will be put on a child of being called the N-word while simply trying to play sports. That young girl from Rufus King that was called an N-word at Waterford last school year, that young girl going to be traumatized forever. And that's not fair and it's not right. We need to protect them. 833-212-1017. The WIAA continues to fail students, all students, when they allow for racism to happen on these fields. When they allow for kids to get called N-words and not publicly come out and condemn. I didn't hear if Waterford was suspended from the rest of the competition last year. I wonder if Waterford was able to compete in the WIAA playoffs. I want to know if the players from Waterford was suspended for the entire rest of the year. I want to know if Waterford had to forfeit that track meet last year. Because if none of that happened, then the WIAA has failed our kids, and they are enabling for racism to continue to persist in athletics of high school. 833-212-1017. Have you ever had to deal with any type of racism in an athletic setting here in the state of Wisconsin or wherever you're from? Do you have any stories? And what should be done? Should kids be kicked out anytime they exhibit any racism? Should teams have to pay a harsh punishment anytime they have a player on their team that exhibits any type of racism? 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. I'll take your YouTube comments as well. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. We'll be back in 4.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward plate, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, you know, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African-American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. Mm-hmm. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive On collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. But I like to say that, black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers dropping a tough one to begin the series out in Texas. They fall to the Rangers by a final of 5-0. Jose Quintana took a perfect game into the fourth inning, but gave up a grand slam in the fifth, and it would unravel from there as the Brewers fall to 89-56 on the season. After the game, manager Pat Murphy on his starter.
I'm really pleased with the way he threw the ball. A couple pitches didn't work his way, but you get 2 outs in the inning and, make an 0-2 pitch that just doesn't get to where you want. It happens.
Game 2 is set for this evening. First pitch is set for 7:05. And lastly, we'll head over to the NFL as the Packers are prepping for the Washington Commanders on Thursday night. Week 1 officially wrapped up. A Monday night thriller. The Vikings coming back to stun the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, winning 27-24. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, we love our Brew Crew, and your dream game day starts at Parking Lot Patio. Not only can you go to AmFam Field and get these great giveaways that I have on today by simply going to brewers.com/tickets to get all their great giveaways on September 13th for the Crew Neck sweatshirt that they have, Tuesday, September 16th, the Jacob Mizorowski t-shirt, and Saturday, September 27th, a great tumbler they're giving away. I'm telling y'all, brewers.com/tickets. But in addition to that, when you go to AmFam Field, you can go to the Parking Lot Patio, sponsored by American Family Insurance, and it's located outside the clock tower, outside of American Family Field. Parking Lot Patio is your go-to pregame hangout. Play yard games, grab free giveaways, and it's free, it's fun, and open to fans of all ages. So stop by before your next home game at the Parking Lot Patio that is presented by American Family Insurance. Go to amfam.com today. If you want to get homeowners insurance or car insurance or bundle, go to amfam.com today to get an agent near you or to get a quote instantly like that. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're having a conversation talking about the overall use of the N-word, right? And I'm very uneasy about the direction that we're going, because I'll be very honest. When I was in school, the N-word wasn't, and y'all know I always talk about I went to the suburbs. I didn't really hear the N-word like that. Like I can't recall hearing instances where there was an N-word. Now, I ain't going to sit here and act like it didn't happen and I had to check somebody before, right? But the way that they're talking about athletic events, right? I ain't really see the N-word. You were treated a certain way, but I really didn't hear the N-word. And I feel like the WIAA is failing our students by allowing so many instances of the N-word to happen, right? Because I talked about what happened at Waterford, but then on top of that, I gave other examples of when our kids had to face racism, whether it was the Brown Deer students that had to face racism, the quarterback having to face racism when they were playing against Cudahy, or whether it was last season with Wauwatosa East baseball player being called the N-word by opponents during games against Sussex Hamilton and West Allis Hale. When incidents like this happen, WIAA needs to make a big deal about it, but they also need to make an example out of the perpetrators who did this. Because if the kid's going to go around thinking they can get away with stuff like this, then what the hell else are they going to do? That mentality that they have. But 833-212-1017, I do want to hear your experience with racism when it comes to WIAA or athletics. And I also want to hear, how do we fix this? And make sure y'all reach out to Stephanie Hauser from the WIAA, Tim Clark from the WIAA, and what is his name? It's Bow. Hold on. I'm going to get his name. I ain't saying a bow for the song. Mel Dow, the Associate Director for the WIAA. But Marlon, you are on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation when it comes to WIAA and racism?
So this is a conversation that I've been having for a long time. I am a WIAA certified official. I do volleyball and I do track and field. So the fact that what happened at Waterford is kind of interesting. I was actually at Waterford approximately a week and a half before that happened. And not only did that happen, it's really hard to kind of take care of people in the stands because I heard that happen. But then I heard there was athletes, and I heard there was another official who said something as well. I talked to the girl personally, and she told me, and she pointed out the official who said the stuff. But I'm looking on the WIAA website, and I'm trying to figure out, because every time they have a game, they read this thing at the beginning of the game.
Code of conduct, right?
Something about. Yeah, the code of conduct emphasizes positive sportsmanship, respect for officials, coaches, players, facility, and prohibits negative behaviors and then I know it normally says like sexist, racist, or comments will get you this, you know what I mean? But they say that to the fans. They don't include the officials about that. Now, I will say this. So I am presently part of the officials advisory board, and we meet once a year. And this is something I'm going to try to figure out what's going on, because not only, I can't really do nothing about the parents, that's the WIAA, but the official who said what he has said, my goal is to not have him officiate next year or get suspended in general, because he is doing damage to our students. And if we have this code of conduct for people in the stands, what does it mean for us as officials? And it's kind of funny because I've been trying to figure out how to write an email to the WIAA so I can get in response and talk to them, because those are different individuals. So like every sport has like a conference commissioner over that sport. So I know the lady personally who's over track and field, because she's also over volleyball. So I'm sending it to her, but I'm also sending the guy who's in charge of officials, because we got to figure this out. And like you said, you cannot continue to do this to black children and not do anything. You know what I mean? The fact that they suspend kids for all sorts of stuff. They just suspended a kid from Earhart High School because he switched addresses over the summer.
After a flood
over the summer, after a fire. After a fire at his house, they switch and they suspend them for. You know what I mean? So they are they do certain things, but they don't do enough. Especially when it comes to racist issues. And part of the issue is they have nobody of color who sits on the major board. On the WIAA board, there is nobody who is black. You know what I mean? So, and then I just looked at the code of conduct, the board of the code of conduct, and all these people on here are people from these little towns, Luxembourg, and you know what I'm saying? So they don't have no black people on there either.
I feel you, Marlon. I appreciate your thoughts and comments and also your experience. That's so important to have people on the inside who actually experience it. And talking about these officials, that's the biggest thing that I always had an issue with, is the way that these officials treated kids. Not every official is like that. But even some of the black officials, too. They used to make me very upset the way they treated some of our kids. But when you have a certain mindset, right, when you have officials coming from across different areas, and you have a certain mindset of how you feel about other people who don't look like you, that mindset just doesn't dissipate or disappear when you go ref athletics. You still have whatever preconceived notions about people when you're ruling on plays. People have bias. And unfortunately, our kids negatively will be impacted by that bias that they have. And so I appreciate Marlon calling in and sharing his experience and talking about what he's going to do, because, again, the putting out a statement is bull crap. I want to hear about who got suspended, right? Waterford put out statements, all the kids will be held accountable. No, I want to know how. Were the kids suspended? Were the kids kicked off the team? I want to know how. WIAA, they shouldn't be able to participate. There should be a zero tolerance for racism of any kind on the athletic field with WIAA. That's what their policy needs to say, a zero tolerance policy. And until the investigation is done, not a single person from that team will participate in the next event that they have, period. That's what the policy should be. 833-212-1017. Security Mike, what are your thoughts here on the conversation on the student using the N-word during WIAA games?
Well, how you doing, Kyle? Well, people are naive. They should have knew this second term with Trump would bring out hate. I would say hate on steroids. They don't care that our kids are kids. I went up there with Tori and them this Saturday up to Iowa County. That was a kid that was beat down in that barn. Okay? So he brought that out, and people are naive to that fact that they don't care. His second term, it's like hate on steroids. You know what I'm saying? And they need to, these parents need to be fined, suspended. The referees need to be suspended. They're screwing that stuff or condoning that stuff. I mean, it's getting out of hand, and it's going to get much worse if we don't address it.
No, I'm
because,
with
like
you.
I said, 10 of us went up there with Tory up there, and then they try to play it off, talking about wait till Monday, or you can talk to the DA and all that, and they trying to demonize the kid. And when I talk,
really,
up
they
there
demonize the kid. How so?
I specifically said, whoever called him out his name and spewed the N-word, they the ones that started it. Okay, so it's getting crazy, man. But yeah, that WIAA stuff, those people need to be suspended. Maybe the school for them don't let them enter the playoffs or something like that.
There needs.
Referees should.
Thank you, Security Mike. Because here's the thing. I think it was Pulaski High School last year, and it might have been another, or it might have been 2 seasons ago, where it was an eligibility issue. Where again, eligibility issue. A kid who was ineligible played. They won the game, so then they had to forfeit the game, so now they weren't eligible for the playoffs. All of that stuff is eligibility, what your grades are. Listen, I want you to be smart in school, but you should lose all your eligibility for the remainder of the year for every single athletic. If you get caught saying the N-word, that should be what it needs to be. It needs to be punitive measures that need to be put on these kids when they do things like that, because they don't have the right to disrespect another kid or hurt another kid in that way. Regardless of if the kid even reacts or not, if the N-word comes out your mouth, if a racial epithet comes out of your mouth, you need to be condemned and you need to face serious consequences. And the WIAA has not put that in place simply because not enough, I'm gonna be honest, white kids are impacted by this. Let it be a whole bunch of girls like Caitlin Clark or something like that getting pushed around on a basketball court game after game after game. I bet you they step up and do something then. But 833-212-1017, now is your time. It's time to throw back more than just tequila as Milwaukee's premier festival returns for year 3 at the beautiful Franklin Field. And guess what? The award-winning 1017 The Truth has the hook up for you. Now is your chance to win a pair of Tacos and Tequila Festival tickets live at Franklin Field for this Saturday. Call 833-212-1017 and be caller number 10 right now to win these tickets. That's 833-212-1017 and be caller number 10 to win these tickets to Tacos and Tequila coming up on Friday, the Tacos and Tequila Festival. Excuse me, coming up on Saturday at Franklin Field. Yes, Franklin Field for the Tacos and Tequila tickets. Be caller number 10 at 833-212-1017. When we come back, we'll wrap up our thoughts. Atlanta Banana will get to you, but we'll wrap up our final thoughts in this conversation coming up soon.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
It is.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this
Congratulations. Woo! God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away.
Aww.
So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because their home policies help protect your dreams and come with a peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote from an agent at amfam.com. Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned as operating companies. American Family Life Insurance Company. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, get ready for the ultimate flavor in Music Fest. Tacos and Tequila Fest is going down Saturday, September 13th at Franklin Field. Enjoy your favorite throwback hits with performances by Lil Jon, Pretty Ricky, B.O.B., Trina, and more. This event is strictly 21 and up, so leave the kiddos at home and get ready to vibe out. Live music, DJs, food trucks, tequila tastings, and all the vibes you can handle all in one epic day. Tickets are going fast. Get yours now at tacostequilafest.com/market/Milwaukee.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When a customer chooses Pella, one of the most important things to them is honoring that trust and commitment. A lot of customers might have apprehensions about inviting someone out to their home. But when you see the experience and professionalism, you can trust them with bringing your project to life. Their vision is to be the company that people want to do business with. Watching them work from idea to installation gives you the ability to see firsthand the care taken to ensure the Pella experience is complete. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, always designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance. The Pella team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Order by the end of the month and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Server restrictions apply. It's 9/30/2025.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
Ride the way to clean with Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait in the fast lane and take advantage of unbeatable perks like free vacuums and tire air with every visit. With convenient locations across Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin, fresh, clean, and shiny is always close by. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at TsunamiExpress.com. I'll be broadcasting live from Tsunami Express next Tuesday, so come on down as I broadcast live next Tuesday from Tsunami Express at Midtown. But before we wrap up here, Ms. Lina Banana, I want to hear your comments quickly. You got 30 seconds about the WIAA and racism.
Okay, with racism, I think what should be done with that is that since they don't want to teach critical race theory in school, well then those who are racist like that and they call the black players the N-word, then they need to be taught critical race theory individually by a qualified person.
Thank you. Hey, they need to be taught something. They need to be taught something. And my final thoughts for today, Truth Nation, is thank y'all so much for tuning in. But listen, I understand a lot of us have experienced this. I remember, hell, we played against Port Washington, and this mixed kid at Port Washington called my guy the N-word. We said, bro, like, he didn't, and one thing you say, hey, nigga. He said, you nigger? We said, wait a minute, bro, you mixed. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? And so, again, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the WIAA, they cannot let this happen. And so, again, it is going to happen again this year. There will be some kid that is called out of their name, and when it happens, we need to come with the fury down on that school, and we also need to make sure we contact the WIAA and tell them sending us to a policy or making a statement saying this is unacceptable is not enough. We need to hear what the end result is. We need to make sure that the kid that did that, the perpetrator of that racism, is kicked out of sports for the remainder of the year, and we need to make sure the school is doing something in order to ensure that something like that does not happen again, and they should have to forfeit that contest when it happened. This has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I appreciate y'all, Truth Nation. The cleaning lady, her name is Esperanza, 414-233-0161. I see y'all asking. She was fantastic. But Truth Nation, thank y'all so much. The Tori Lowe Show is up next. Peace out. I will see y'all tomorrow. This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day